Alright you guys, today I'm coming at you with a semi-sealed brand new iPhone 7. As you'll see, I did get kind of scammed because it was sold to me as a sealed phone, but the plastic wrap on the bottom has been torn off. This is a 32 gigabyte matte black iPhone 7. The box does say Apple 2016. So if we're lucky, this should be running iOS 10. Let's peel the tab off right now and find out for ourselves. Our iPhone 7 is now open. Let's get it out of the box here. Designed by Apple in California. We get our quick start guide and our Apple stickers as well as our warranty card. And here we have our phone. Let's get a nice satisfying peel. Bingo. Back is off. Front is off. Now before we boot up the phone, I want to show you what would have come in the box if this was you unboxing it back in the day. So you have your infamous, at this point useless, 5-watt Apple power adapter. Literally this would take hours and hours and hours to charge modern day iPhones, but nonetheless you get that in the box. We also get Lightning EarPods in the box, as well as our Lightning to 3.5 headphone jack adapter, because keep in mind this was the first iPhone that removed the headphone jack. So that's nice, this was included in the box. Lastly, you get your classic Lightning to USB-A charging cable. Now that the box is to the side, we can take a look at this device. Very shiny, brand new. Not a single scratch on the display. Around back, same thing. Brand new. What a beautiful device. So it is now a couple hours later and I have fully charged the phone. Let's see if we can get it to boot. And boom. Here we go. Apple logo on the screen. Let's see what version of iOS this brand new iPhone 7 is running. I'm hoping for iOS 10. Oh, no. Okay, so we can immediately tell it is not iOS 10 by the battery icon. This has the iPhone 10 style battery icon. So right away, we are not on the iOS version that I was hoping for. But let's continue to the setup. And okay, so looks like we are running iOS 11 on this brand new iPhone 7. Because that is the iOS 11 default wallpaper, and the other telltale sign is the quick start function was not introduced until iOS 11. So this is indeed some version of iOS 11. Set up manually, we've connected to Wi-Fi. Hopefully we activate. Let's find out. May take a few minutes to activate your iPhone. Okay, looks like we got through activation. We're going to set up Touch ID later. Don't use Touch ID. Passcode options, don't use passcode. Don't use passcode again. Set up as new iPhone. We do not want to sign in with our Apple ID. Set up later in settings. Don't use. Terms and conditions, agree. Express settings, let's customize settings. Disable location services. Set up Siri later. Don't send analytics. Here we go. Meet the new home button. This is where you can choose the strength of the click in the home button. 3 being the strongest click, and 1 being the weakest, 2 being the middle. I like it on 2 or 3 personally, but we're going to leave it on 2. Display zoom. We want to go with standard zoom. Welcome to iPhone. Okay, let me immediately get this thing off of Wi-Fi here before it decides to update. And let's go into settings. General. About. Okay, as far as what version we're on, we are on 11.2.5, build number 15D60. 11.2.5 on this 32 gigabyte matte black iPhone 7. As you see, we do have the default iOS 11 wallpaper set as our wallpaper. So unfortunately, I did not get lucky like I did with the 6S on iOS 9.3.1. I was hoping for this to be on iOS 10, but unfortunately, we did not get lucky today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about a little bit of what made the iPhone 7 so special. 1, it was the first iPhone to not have a physical clicking home button. The iPhone 7 introduced the haptic home button, where they would use the Taptic engine in the phone to simulate the feeling of a click, but it is actually a solid state home button. Basically what they use in the MacBook trackpads, but in the home button instead. This was also the first iPhone to introduce stereo speakers. We had one speaker up top in the earpiece speaker, and we had the bottom firing speaker as well. This was the first iPhone to have stereo speakers. This was also the first iPhone to be officially water resistant. I believe it was IP67 rated. This was the first iPhone to have a quad-core processor, 2 efficiency cores, 2 performance cores, and that's the A10 Bionic. This device launched on iOS 10, but obviously this one is on iOS 11. Let's go into wallpapers and let's set the iOS 10 wallpaper as our wallpaper, so we can at least feel like we're on iOS 10. Here we go, we got the iOS 10 default wallpaper on this iOS 11 iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 was also infamously known for being the iPhone that removed the headphone jack. That was a huge controversy back in the day. Everybody was crying that the iPhone 7 didn't have a headphone jack, and then Apple introduced AirPods right after they introduced his phone. So they removed the headphone jack to basically sell you a pair of AirPods. And everybody was saying back in the day, AirPods are too expensive. Nobody's ever going to pay $160 for a pair of wireless earbuds. And yeah, we see how well that aged. Now everybody and their mother and their mother's grandmother has a pair of AirPods. They are everywhere. They are basically almost as common as a pair of glasses these days. Let's be honest. In terms of cameras, the iPhone 7 has a single 12 megapixel wide angle lens capable of up to 4K at 30 frames per second video with optical image stabilization. This was actually the first regular sized iPhone to get optical image stabilization in the camera. As well, we had the 7 Plus that had the same 12 megapixel wide angle, but also introduced, I believe, an 8 or 12 megapixel telephoto lens, allowing for portrait mode and a 2x zoom, I believe, for the first time on the iPhone. The 7 Plus also had an extra gigabyte of RAM compared to the 7, but still they could both do 4K at 30. The iPhone 7 came in at 4.7 inches, and the 7 Plus came in at 5.5 inches. The iPhone 7 was also the only iPhone to ever come in 6 finishes. We had matte black, which is this one here, obviously. We had jet black, silver, gold, rose gold, and product red. Product red was added later in the life cycle of the 7, but the rest were available at launch. The jet black was only available on iPhone 7s with 128 gigabytes of storage or more. The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus you could get in 32 gigabyte storage capacity, a 128 gigabyte storage, and a 256 gigabyte storage. It was the first iPhone to bump the base storage up from the paltry 16 gigabytes to a 32 gigabyte base model, which was more acceptable at the time when this phone came out. Apparently we got an issue with this iPhone 7. I didn't even take the SIM card out and it's telling me SIM not supported all of a sudden out of nowhere. So that's a little strange. Hopefully this phone didn't just break itself. That wraps it up for this sealed iPhone 7 unboxing. We unboxed it, went over what would have came in the box 10 years ago when you got this device, and we went over a little bit of what made it so iconic. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and check out my Amazon storefront, link down below. I got some awesome products on there that you guys would love if you're into iPhones, Apple, or anything technology. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys later.